What's up guys, welcome back to the Drone Camps channel. I'm Justin Davis. Today I'm here with another ready to fly indoor outdoor small sub 250 gram drone that you can take out of the box, bind up to the IF8 transmitter. It is a smaller, more portable transmitter, and it comes with a pair of 5.8 goggles that you can record your videos on to the DVR. So the goggles probably are a little bit small. If you wear glasses, you won't be able to fit glasses inside these goggles. So if you're looking for glasses ready goggles, you're going to have to look for something like the Cobra X. I'll put a link down below for that one. It has slots on the inside of the goggles that you can slide your glasses into, and also really nice diversity antennas on there. So you can get pretty far out there. You can also upgrade the antennas and make it even better. So Cobra X is great for guys with glasses. If you don't need glasses, and the box goggles are fine for you. These goggles actually are pretty decent. The goggles that iFlight's including with their ready to fly kit actually has already upgraded antennas. So the first thing I noticed for this product review is that these guys already upgraded the antennas for you, and that cuts a lot of cost out of the purchase of these goggles. They're around $89 by themselves, and this is the analog version of the A75, which also does fly pretty good. It has brushless motors. We're going to fly it today on 2 and 3S, I believe. Yeah, it's all the way up to 3S, and it has an IF8 receiver on there. So that's the thing. If you guys decide to buy this one, the transmitter, the IF8, it's different than the jumper like you saw on the channel last week. The jumper has a 4-in-1 full multi-protocol module in there, so that means you can fly pretty much any receiver almost in the world on there, with the exclusion of having to add a module for a receiver like Crossfire for long distance flying. But if you're flying around the house, this bundle would be absolutely fine. But you can't fly multiple receivers on this bundle. So while you have upgraded antennas on the goggles, that's great and all, but you can't deviate from using the IF8 transmitter for different protocols. Are you with me? So no XM Plus receivers or Spectrum receivers or anything like that with that radio. It's strictly for the IF8 transmitter only. So those receivers, they retail for about $11 to $12. And they are pretty cheap, and I believe they have diversity on there as well. So 2 antennas, a little better reception and penetration, less fail-safes, probably maybe close to a mile range on those receivers. So pretty good, but you're not honestly going to be flying that far with this A75. This is kind of a close-in proximity cruiser. It is kind of a Whoop style quad. They also make a DJI version of this little guy, and they have, I believe they might have a 4K DVR version, but this one comes with the RunCam Nano 2 and full analog setup. So we're going to take this little guy outside. We're going to do some flying, and to start out, we're going to do some flying indoors as well, and I'll show you how this little guy handles. Crank down the camera for indoors and crank it up for outdoor freestyle and faster flying. So more camera tilt outside, less camera tilt inside, and you should be ready to go. But let's go ahead and get this little beast 3S Whoop up in the air, and let me show you what the A75 is all about from iFlight RC. Here we go, guys. Let's do some flying. All right, guys, welcome back from the flight test. So let's just go ahead and dive into this, and let's talk about a little bit of comparison between some of the other things out there that you guys might be considering that's sort of in the realm of this size whoop for indoor, outdoor, and something that's ready to fly. Now, the biggest contender for this, obviously, out there is going to be the Gep RC Tiny Go. The Gep RC Tiny Go comes in at around $219, ready to fly with everything. It comes with a little transmitter. It comes with goggles that are almost identical to this. The biggest difference between the goggles for the iFlight and the Gep RC version is the upgraded antennas. They have the exact same DVR. It records out to AVI format. It is switchable between, I believe it was 5 bands, 40 channels. Very similar, but this one will get you better range out of the box. So if you're looking for better range, better penetration around the house, I was able to make it around the house without fail-safing with the IF8 protocol receiver on here, which is super cool. So I feel like if you want to fly around your house and do things like that, this one is great because not only does it have a great receiver on here that has diversity like our XM Plus, it should give you a really long range, great penetration. It also has up to 300 milliwatt for the video transmitter that's on here. So versus the Tiny Go, again, this one has more of transmitter power than the Tiny Go. Tiny Go is bringing you in at around 200 milliwatt, which is great. Biggest difference between these two physically is going to be that this one is running some of my all-time favorite 1103 motors. These will get you plenty of punch, and it feels more like a micro brushless than a whoop at this point, especially when you're running a 3S450. It just feels super fast and beastie if you want it to be. It still does have some washout and some tumble, mainly because it has a high canopy up here, so it changes the center of gravity of this quad. You're going to run the battery across like this, and not front to back. You're going to do it to side, but I feel like with that geometry in mind, it kind of does change the balance of the quad and makes it more prone to tumbling when you're trying to do freestyle. So this will not be a freestyle beast, but it will go pretty fast through the neighborhood. You can change the camera tilt on the fly just like by moving it up and down with your fingers. It'll get up to about 35 degrees, and you can really move out down the sidewalk. So fun little sidewalk surfer. It can also slow way down and go into the trees if you tilt the camera down like that. And you can also get the DJI version, which is the Caddx Vista version, and it's tucked just underneath this canopy. And that's one of the reasons why this canopy is so tall, so that it can accommodate Caddx. So if you wanted to upgrade this later to a Caddx DJI quad, you can do that. But this year, I think it's all about these small HD quads. So under 100 grams with Caddx on there. Now they're starting to decase the Caddx as well, which is also making them even lighter for us, which I think is a super cool trend for 2021. But I'm able to get, close to 5 minutes flight time with a 450 battery, just kind of cruising in stability mode. So indoors, flight in stability mode, and outdoors, you can fly it in acro. And it'd be a great acro trainer for anybody just wanting to learn how to fly FPV. So if this is your first quad, this would be a really nice first quad setup. If you're going to ask me what controller should I get, I mean, the obvious elephant in the room here is, should you buy the jumper and get the bind and fly version of this for $139? This is like $69, and you've got OpenTX and 4-in-1 multi-protocol in here. So this would be the combo I'd go for. The only thing about this is that when you go onto the website to buy it, I believe right now they have a arrival notice, so you have to get checked in for that on the Banggood website. But you can select XM Plus receiver on there. You can select the RXSR, which from also FR Sky protocol, and you can also have a choice to get TBS Crossfire Nano RX on there. But that price, bind and fly alone, is like $167 for this guy with Crossfire on there, and then you have to have your Crossfire module on the back here. So quite a few purchases to get a little bit of long range on this quad. But if you want to fly it with the XM Plus, it'll still have 2 antennas like this, and it'll get you about a mile out, and you can bind it to this without having to use a module in the back. So that's one thing, but you're still going to need to buy some goggles. So I think that the goggles are perfectly fine for this. I just recommend this jumper. The jumper is like yeah, 20 bucks more than the IF8. The IF8 again has no computer screen on here. The way that you're going to have to, I'll talk about the goggles in a minute, but the way you're going to have to bind up this to this quad, there is a button on the receiver on the very bottom of this quad. You have to take like a bamboo skewer and just go in there, and it's right behind, it's a little gold button right behind one of the antenna UFL connectors. So I believe it's like right here. You can't see it, but you're going to power up this, and there is a stick configuration that you need to do. So what you're going to do is press your stick up to the top right, to the top left, the bottom corner, or this corner, depending on which protocol your receiver is. Now, I believe that you're going to do the first protocol, which is D8 protocol for this IF8 receiver. Once you have that active, it'll start beeping like your typical standard Tyrannus or jumper radio, and then you're going to press the button on here with your bamboo skewer, and you're going to have to press this button in the very back here as well. So there's like, the bind procedure is a little bit harrowing. I've been binding quads for a long time, 8 years or more. So this was a little bit of a pain to bind up. It's just so much easier with this radio and an XM Plus receiver, and you're going to get about the same range. But the IF8, I just wish it had an easier way to bind. It was a little bit of a pain. So I believe that it is a fairly functional radio outside of being stuck to one receiver protocol for IF8 receivers only. It is cool. It has a built-in 18650 in here. It looks like it's trying to have like an external module bay back here with this piece right here. It might come off, and maybe one is available like with the jumper, but the jumper comes with this, and you can put it on the back and use any type of light style external modules. Underneath here, you've got a little USB port here, SD card space for storing maybe extra models on here. It does have a slot for, it's like a headphone jack there, and you should be able to use this with a simulator to your PC. So that's cool if you want to use this as sort of a trainer as well. We've got removable antenna on here. I believe it's removable. Yep, so you could upgrade this antenna. This is just the standard 2.4 antenna that comes along with it. And we have, I believe, two position switches in the very back right here. And we have 3 position switches up here. And a nice little LED readout for the power that's on here. And we have thumb switches here, or actually little switches that switch out right here. They're kind of hard to get to, but these come out, and they're sort of like thumb rests. So kind of hard to get them out by hand, which is kind of a pain in the butt. So one thing here, I'm trying not to break this 90-degree. So this is kind of a little bit of a, I don't have any fingernails. Super hard to get these out, but yeah, so that's supposed to rest like this on your index finger on both sides. I can't even get this one out, so it's kind of a pain unless you got like fingernails. There we go. So that's how that works, and you don't really need those out. It's kind of like a little kickstand if you want to put them out. But this transmitter is not bad. It's $49, but then you're going to have to buy a receiver. Other receivers are going to be about $12 for the IF8 receivers. Now again, like this set of goggles, it does pretty much do everything I need it to do. It has the power button there, it has menus on there, it has an auto search button right here, it has the record button here. Any type of SD card will pretty much work in here. It has to be in FAT32 format. You've got a little micro USB port here for charging the internal battery in this set of goggles, and you have a speaker. You also have an antenna jack here, 3.5 jack, and the band button here and channel button just below that. So it will tell you, it will flash red when it's recording. So I was able to get the AVI files onto my Mac as well. So guys that are using Macs, you can use this SD card in your computer, so it will load up on your Mac desktop. But for PC guys also, you guys are good to go there. Now let's just check the weight on this quad. We've got Sussex F4 flight controller on here, 1103 motors. You know, again, in comparison to the 1102s on the Tiny Go. And you know, you guys are going to be asking me, which one should I get? Should I get the Tiny Go, or should I get the A75. So this one's going to be more expensive, but the Tiny Go is doing really, really good because it is coming in around $219. So it's kind of like, I don't know which way to go there, but I know that the Tiny Go controller will bind up to like other models as well. So you have the option to do that with that one. So this one's in at 52.8 grams. Now let's put the 3S 450 on there, and let's just see what we get. Under 100 grams, 95.8 grams. And again, like the Tiny Go can run 2S, and this one can run 3S. So this one's under 100 grams as well, and will run 2S or 3S. So you have a little more options with this one, but I feel like at the high end of the throttle, the tune was okay. It's not super outstanding. The tune would probably be in the neighborhood of okay. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. I wouldn't say it's like wobble or jitter free, but I would say it's okay. And we also have in the box this 90-degree USB. We also have some stickers in here for you guys, and some Gem Fan 40mm props as well, an extra set of those. Those are the tri-blades. Here are your stickers. Put those on your toolbox. You get some extra M2 hardware in here. You get an extra little tiny clear nut that go on top of the flight controller. We have some standard bolts, and these are the longer ones for putting through the props. So if you decide that you want bolts on top of your props, you can do that. This looks like about a 1.5mm shaft on this motor. So if you're looking for props, you want to look for the 1.5mm, and these are 1635s, by the way. Yeah, it says 1.5 right there. So guys ordering props, I'll put that link down below. You also have a strap in here and some extra 3M stickies for the bottom, and this one looks quite a bit longer, so you could probably cut that to fit. And you can also put the Instant 360 Go on here. If you guys really want to like make some cool videos, you can mount these right to the top of these quads, no problem, and get some better looking video and stabilized video. So and also it would absolutely carry a decased GoPro, like a naked GoPro as we call it. Now we also in the box get an extra canopy, and this looks like my Cadex. Maybe this one's a little different. It might be the Cadex version of this canopy, as well as some stickers. The stickers always look pretty cool. We've got the Bumblebee on there, the Mega Bee, the Zing motors, and this looks like some older race quad, and that looks maybe like the Sedora, but Race, Cinna, Freestyle, iFlight logo stickers as well. And we get this instruction manual. The instruction manual is really, really great for adding another type of receiver. If you guys decide you want to go do TBS Crossfire receiver, it shows you how to wire it up to the flight controller, and it shows you how to set it up in Betaflight in the receiver tab, so that's nice. It also shows you wiring for the full-size DJI Air module, which I don't know why it's showing that, but it should translate over to using the same wiring setup for the Cadex Vista version. So if you want to upgrade this later, you've got the diagrams here for that flight controller, which is kind of nice. Down here we have the VTX wiring, LED buzzer, and the cam wiring. And again, you guys have a decent camera on the analog version, so the Runcam Nano 2 is pretty nice. I've used it and kind of preferred it on cloudy Oregon days for quite some time. And yeah, so this guy's, you know, a little more beastie than the Tiny Go, but it's going to be more expensive. So if you're looking for the cheaper option route to get started in FPV, I'm still going to recommend the Tiny Go. But I do like that this one's giving us 3S option. Tiny Go is only going to get us 2S, but still it's fun to be able to record 4K video on the Tiny Go. So 4K video and 2S, or do you go 3S and 75mm and the IF8 controller? So my recommendation for you guys, if you want to do the ultimate setup, I would honestly go for the jumper. You have the built-in 18650 here, which is easy to get to. There's no trapdoor on the back of the IF8. There is one here, so you have the option to switch out batteries or carry an extra battery with you in the field or if you go somewhere. And the coolest thing about this transmitter, you can also get receivers for your 5-inch quads or 3-inch quads and fly your IF8 with larger quads, but this one, the jumper, will also allow you to do that as well. So I'll put links down below for this combo, and I'll put links down below for my recommended combo, which would probably be these two, and some goggles, and I'll also put a charger down there for you guys and some battery links, because the only other kind of bad thing about this one is that it does not come with any batteries, so you're going to have to order batteries outside your regular order. So flies decent, somewhere in the middle range of the Tune. It is fairly durable for me. I didn't come back with a broken frame. It feels lighter and thinner than the Tiny Go as far as the outside ducts go, but pretty standard overall. It's nothing like super exciting, but it is great for beginner guys that just want a little more power. So I leave it up to you guys. You guys heard the facts here on the channel again on this review, and try to keep it honest with you guys and fun as always on the channel. Sun's going down. It's time for me to cook dinner, guys. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.